All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rechakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, and the sincere Shalom to the elect out there teaching this truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. And this lesson is about these social media Bible teachers and social media Israelites. Okay, and we've seen, I just had some scriptures in mind about it and was scrolling through social media, and there was a lot of, you go into certain platforms, like YouTube or TikTok, and you have all these people, right? And I don't, and I only really listen or pay attention if it's a Jake doing the panel. But I've been seeing a lot of Hebrew Israelites in these biblical discussions, right? Because in TikTok you could have like 5, 6, 7, 8 people speaking on like a panel or something, right? So I've been starting to follow some of these men, right? Some of these young Jakes, and this is and I check in from time to time. This is pretty much all that they do is just get on these panels and talk. Okay, and it just reminds me of all these guys that post things on Facebook, post things on Instagram, that come on our comment boards and talk shit, but yet you go to their page and they ain't got no works of their own. They ain't got no videos. If you were really consider yourself a true teacher, okay? And hey, we'll lump in you Christians too, okay? If you really consider yourself a true teacher, right? And you really have a deep faith that the Lord is dealing with your doctrine, right? Then you should be out there defending your doctrine publicly on the highways and the byways, man. Okay? You should be out there on the highways and hedges. Okay? Let's get that. Start with that. These scriptures are coming in no particular order. And the prophets of old all hit the streets. Okay? Because you ain't going to hear the truth in these churches. Okay? And there was a time when there were times when the priesthood were corrupt. So the prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah had to hit the streets, right? But this is, I believe it's Matthew 22. If not, we'll look it up. Matthew 22:8. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Okay, and these are the words of Yahushai. Now I'm going to read this in the NLT, right? And he said to his servants, the wedding feast is ready, and the guests I invited aren't worthy of the honor. Now go out to the street corners and invite everyone you see. Okay? So we are commanded to go out into the highways, man. Highways and the byways. The chief place of concourse. Okay? If you truly believe that you're a teacher and the Lord is dealing with you, then you're going to stop hiding behind a fucking keyboard or behind your phone screen. Okay, and you're going to put yourself out there. Not having pointless discussion groups with people, man. Nothing ever comes from that. You know? And I listened to quite a few of these panels because I got my schedule's switching around at work. They told me not to come in. So I was like, well, watch a couple of these. All right? And out of all them people that were speaking, there was maybe like one or two dudes that actually seemed like they took the Bible serious. You know, like that. I don't mean like serious, but as in like that they were studious. But you could be studious and the Lord's still not dealing with you, man. Okay? This is Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom crieth without. Crieth without is what? Letting it be known, like it says in the NLT, shouts in the streets, right? Now, the internet is definitely a huge part of the lifting, okay? But I know that there's a lot of brothers out there that are in these camps right now, and they came into this truth from the streets, right? In your various cities, okay? Not every brother, obviously. But a lot of these camps got started from the internet, you know? But then as you added members, a lot of those came from your area that saw you on the street, right? Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Okay, as the saying goes, if you have a serious message to send, okay, you really got to hit the streets, man. Okay, and there's something, and the scriptures say, actually, let me read this. It's like I'm jumping around too much. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates in the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Now let's read 21 in the NLT. She calls to the crowds along the street, along the main street, right? And that's usually where brothers are stationed, in the downtown areas, right? The commercial districts or the shopping centers. Okay? Usually in front of banks because they're closed on the weekends or whatever. Or whatever day. You know, I know not every brother goes out on Saturdays. Some brothers go out on Thursdays, some on Sundays, some on Fridays. You know, whatever. Whenever your camp can do what it needs to do, you know. But the point is that you're hitting those highways and the byways, man. Okay? To those gathered in front of the city gate. Right? How long, ye simpletons? I love how sometimes the NLT is more raw than the KJV, man. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? Now, that's a harsh rebuke right there, man. That's harsh language for all you Jesus drinking or Jesus grape juice drinking Christians that want to be soft towards everybody, man. That's some harsh language, right? If you're a man and you say that to another man to his face, he's going to be upset. Hey, you simple ass, how long are you going to be so fucking simple? That would be in modern speak, right? How long will you mockers relish your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Okay? How long are you going to hate the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai? Okay? And if you really have the faith, okay, that's why there's a separation, man. This is why we tell our people that the hell with the church, man. You ain't learning nothing in no church. You ain't learning nothing in no church, man. Okay? You ain't learning nothing in no church, man. Most of them churches, I'm not going to say every single one of them, but most of them churches got a 501c3, you know? They're institutionalized, man. And when you look up, you could go into Chat GPT and you could ask about a 501c3 and it'll give you the details, man. You got to limit your political speech if you're a part of a 501c3. Well, hey, political speech is a large part of this truth, man. Talking about things that are going on in this world, you know? But yeah, Romans 12th chapter, the first verse, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Okay? And, you know, when we're out there, we're dealing with things, man. It is a test of faith. It increases your faith, man. Okay? And if you truly believe that you're a true teacher and you have the correct doctrine and that you want to serve the Lord, right? Then you got to be out there, man, because you got to deal with the things that come with that. Because you ain't been, you know, the streets aren't just the streets, they're a testing ground, man. You know, if you're up north here, right, in the winters, you got to deal with the bitter cold, you know, the below 10-degree wind chills, sometimes less than that, right? You got to deal with that, the whistling winds and that cold air, man. Your feet are numb. When you're done, your hands are numb, right? Icicles dripping off your beard. Okay, that's something you got to deal with. Or if you're down south, right, you got to deal with that scorching heat. Okay, and you got to deal with people calling the police on you. You might be arrested. Okay? People calling the police on you. People trying to start shit, start fights, arguments. Right? People saying all kinds of shit about you. People seeing you out there and recognizing you and trying to contact your job and trying to get you fired, man. People following you. People, you know, threatening you. Taking out weapons, right? That happened to that one brother recently, man. Somebody pulled out a gun on him. Okay? Men in black trucks following your ass home. Right? Those are things that you got to deal with when you're out there on the streets, man. Okay? And it makes you hard. It really does, man. You know? It separates the men from the boys at times, man. There's times when guys, they go through an incident on the streets or they talk too tough or something and somebody calls them out. I remember what happened to one guy years back. Right? Somebody called him out on his bullshit on a street video. And you never saw him go out on the streets again, man. He fell right out the truth. Okay? Things like that, man. Incidents like that, you know? That's presenting your body as a living sacrifice. And you guys think that, you know, sitting behind a phone and having stupid conversation, all right, which most of y'all have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Okay? I mean, damn near all of y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about, to be honest with you. Okay? And everybody thinks that the Lord is dealing with them. But you're not hitting the streets, man. Okay? You want to sit in those temples made with hands, right? Oh, it's way down there. I believe it's 48, is it? We haven't brought this out in a minute. Right. This is Acts 7:48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Right, the Most High is not dwelling in these temples, especially these churches, man, because they're corrupt. They're not teaching the right doctrine. Okay. Now you could do shows in your house throughout the week, but you still got to hit them streets, man. Okay, you still got to hit them streets, man. Matthew 11:16. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. Okay? It was sitting in the markets, right? And it says in the public square on the NLT version, man. Out in the public. Okay? Publishing the word out in the public, man. Going into the highways and the byways, the streets and lanes of the city, the chief place of concourse, the gates. Okay? That's what the prophets did. That's what Yahweh Shai did. Or who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ is, or did. I don't even like saying that. But that's what they did, man. So we got to follow in them footsteps. Okay? You know, it's one thing for these Christians, but when I see young Hebrew Israelite, man, just all over social media, put on every platform, constantly posting posts and tweets or whatever the hell they posting. You know, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous because this is the young generation that acts like they're so fucking tough because they listen to all that crap music, right? Think that they're so tough, but they can't go out on the street teaching the word, man. Okay? Let's see if we can find another one in Acts. Is it 24? It's pretty much, it says the same thing as Acts 7:48. (17:17). Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and then in the market daily with them that met with him. Okay? Let's go there. We'll go up to 16. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him. That's why, man, you gotta love Paul, man. You gotta love Paul, man. When he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. And that word market means is the Greek there is agora. Okay, he met with he was constantly checking people out in public, man. All right. I mean, what do the scriptures say? They say in Isaiah 58, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. You ain't go do that in a building. You do that when you're out in public, man. Show my people their transgressions, right? And we'll get these last scriptures and we'll wrap it up. 1 second. Let me find it. It might be 21. It might be 14. It might be 4. Actually, I think it is 14. I'm tripping. Because Luke 21 is pretty much similar account to Matthew 24, 14. This is Luke 14 and 21. So that servant came. Now, when you read up, there were some men that were supposed to join for the supper. And they made all kinds of excuses, man. A lot of you guys, you make excuses. Okay? We had quite a few guys over the years who fell out this camp. And they had every excuse there was. Luke 14 and 21. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, "Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind." And the servant said, "Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room." And the Lord said unto the servant, "Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in." Okay? That my house may be filled. Okay? Well, hey, the scriptures say, "They hateth him that rebuketh at the gate." Okay? So yes, we are supposed to go out into the highways and byways, man. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay? So you got no business calling yourself, "Hey man, there was a brother who passed and he dealt with a great illness." Okay? His health was really bad. And he still went out on the highways and byways, man. There's brothers out there that there's a deaf camp, a camp with brothers that are deaf. So there really ain't no excuse not to hit them streets, man. Okay? And this is a check, really, to you, and a rebuke to you all who take the winters off. Okay? A slugger will not plow because of the cold. Proverbs 20 and I believe it's 20 and 24 or 20 and 4. One of those two, Bubba. I mean, yeah. It's got to be one of those two, man. All right, if not, look it up. But a slugger will not plow because of the cold. Okay? If you look up north, some areas they get winter for 5-6 months. That's half the year. You tell me you don't got to hit the streets for half a fucking year? And then when they come back, they get confounded because they rusty, man. And it's really because the Lord ain't dealing with them. That's really what it is. Okay? Well, with that, I hope you all were edified and informed. Till next time, Shalom.